I don't know if any of you would be shocked that Democrats, well, they failed to meet the timeline, the deadline to return and reach a quorum for now, what is it, the third time? Take a look at the Texas State House.
I have been in constant communication with Department of Public Safety, which has been working to track down absent members in an effort to return them to our chamber. These efforts will continue through the weekend. For those that have fled to Illinois or to California, be reminded that the FBI's assistant has reportedly been enlisted, and their powers are not confined to any singular state's boundaries. As far as new administrative policies in our chamber go, Comptroller Kelly Hancock and I have enacted a new policy stating that any member absent for the purpose of breaking quorum will no longer have their paycheck or per diem deposited electronically. While the Constitution forbids us from withholding pay, it does not dictate how we issue the pay. Those checks must now be picked up in person on Capitol grounds, effective immediately.
Well, we got two things for you before we bring in our guest. The Attorney General for the state, Ken Paxton, announced that he has filed a lawsuit against the runaway Democrats with the Supreme Court of Texas to secure an order declaring their seats be vacant. And Governor Greg Abbott has ordered the Texas Rangers to investigate rogue Texas House Democrats for violation of state law, including bribery. All right, joining me now to discuss all of this is the GOP chairman of Tarrant County, Texas, Beau French. All right, so you've got warrants out that J.B. Pritzker and law enforcement officials in Illinois have to by the Constitution, respect them, or else, I could foresee Texas saying, all right, well, we're going to pass a state law that says we don't have to respect warrants in your state. So if we pick up someone here, we're not sending them back to Illinois.
Right. Credit goes to our leaders here in Texas. This is not the first time Democrats have broken quorum to try to disrupt our process here in Texas. They did it in 2021. They've done it again. There's 55 of them who have disappeared to break quorum. We need at least 100 state reps in the House to have quorum. And so with 150, you can see it only takes 51 to break quorum. They have 55. Our phenomenal Attorney General Ken Paxton has stepped up when they didn't show back up today at 1 o'clock. He issued a letter to the Texas Supreme Court to remove 13 of those 55 from office, just vacate their office. So we'll see how the court rules on that. I think the law is in our favor. So this should be a pretty severe punishment. I'm a big advocate of we should be removing all 55, and we should have done it at the beginning of the week when they first broke quorum.
All right, wait. So let me ask you, when they say if they vacate the seats, does that lower the quorum? Okay, so then what? There's special elections, so they could vote with a quorum without this number. If it's the minimum 100 and you just vacated 50, what do you say, 55, if you were to vacate 55. But what would be the timeline? Would it be special elections?
Well, under Texas law, we do have to have special elections. They can't just be appointed. And so there's a 90-day notice of a special election. But that's irrelevant. We could move forward with the legislation we need now. Remember, this is not, while a priority for President Trump and I believe the country, because the midterms are imminent, and this is an important for Republicans to increase our numbers in the U.S. Congress. We have very important issues here in Texas. We're trying to get property tax relief. We're trying to pass relief for the flood victims and rebuilding those communities. You probably saw all the horrific floods over the 4th of July weekend here in Texas. And so there are priorities that these Democrats are just, AWOL on, and it's really an affront to the people that have elected them to represent them in Austin.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.